Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So it's another warm, steamy one here on the Suncoast with dew point values now at 70-degree mark, an air temperature of 83 on our way to another very warm day. And it broke a record again in Fort Myers yesterday and came pretty close to setting records in other locations. I think we'll probably hit mid-80s again today without too much of a problem, and in inland areas get pretty close to the 90 mark once again. Very warm afternoon with the south wind blowing at 20, just pumping up the moisture this way. And we do have some high, thin clouds kind of giving the sky a little bit more of a milky appearance today. Clouds are building inland as well. There's a slight chance of an inland shower, but it's not too great. Take a look at the temperature structure across the deep south and the Florida Peninsula, and one thing you'll make out is a sharp contrast between 80 in New Orleans and 63 in Houston, 58 in Little Rock, 77 in Tupelo. Atlanta coming in at 62, not so much because they're in the colder air yet, but because they have been hit with thunderstorms. There's a frontal boundary extending right down through Louisiana right now, kind of dividing the colder air from the warmer air, and that is gradually drifting and shifting in this direction. Headed our way, it's going to help provide lift to a moist atmosphere, plus there'll be some upper level support as well to support some thunderstorms moving through here tomorrow. But for today, don't see much of a chance of that, but boy, has it been tough going in and around Atlanta. We're looking at some of these returns, and they're just tremendous downpours of rain happening in and around the Atlanta airport as well. These are hail markers, and we have some indications, these really bright colors that you see here of light blue. That's 1.75 inches hail in some instances, and it moved right through the northern part of Atlanta today. Also down to the south, we have a lot of spinning storms down here, if you can make these out. Hailstorms as well. This coming from our areas around Montgomery and Alabama, and now moving into parts of Georgia. Let me take away the radar returns, and you can kind of see the spinning areas of updraft. No tornadoes yet, but there is a tornado watch box up for this area, as some of these storms could eventually produce that sort of weather. It's all part of a larger scale system that's wrapping up around the midsection of the country with some upper level jet stream support, plentiful amounts of Gulf moisture lifting northward on that southerly wind. It's just feeding these storms. Now, the thing is, the majority of the energy associated with this storm system is going to lift off to the north and to the east. But the frontal boundary will cut through our area with a line of storms tomorrow morning. Probably between about 5 and 9 o'clock tomorrow, we'll see some of these storms move through. And the Severe Storm Prediction Center does give North Florida a chance at seeing some severe weather. In fact, even down as far as right now, the northern half of Manatee County has a chance of seeing some severe weather, but it gets pretty low probability and pretty low confidence in predicting any kind of severe weather as it gets far south into our neck of the woods. Nevertheless, gusty winds, some hail possibly, and some downpours of rain are possible. And you cannot rule out at this point a brief tornado. We'll be watching these storms very carefully tomorrow morning on Good Morning Suncoast as they progress south through the area. Dry and warm today with high humidity. Tomorrow, early thunderstorms. Then those storms exit pretty quickly as that front scoots south, and we start to turn cooler. There's the hot spot for severe weather today, all through Atlanta, into areas of Georgia, up through the Carolinas eventually, and into Kentucky and Tennessee. But as I mentioned, here in Florida, the slight risk for severe weather extends as far south as Levy County, so they can't rule it out completely. And it has been nudged a little further to the south with the last issuance of that product by the Severe Storm Prediction Center. So we'll keep an eye on it, let you know. There's the RPM computer model identifying that line of storms sinking southward. And then tomorrow morning, right around drive time, that system gets pretty close to Tampa Bay by about 5 a.m. Moves through pretty quickly, though, and then leaves us with high pressure ridge building in and cooler, drier air. Watch the extended ridge forecast. Boy, after tomorrow morning's rainfall, you're going to like it. 60% chance of showers early, 10 degrees cooler tomorrow afternoon. Friday, almost 15 degrees cooler, and nighttime lows in the low 50s. That's going to hang around for several days. Even next week, when it turns warmer, it'll still be low humidity.